Okay, today we're going to review measurement, and so we're going to be talking about area and perimeter and different types of measurement. So let's look at number 1 together. Number 1 says Ariana has a square that is 30 millimeters wide. Calculate the area and perimeter of her square. So notice it told us that it's a square, and that it's 30 millimeters wide. So what do we know about a square? A square has 4 sides that are all the same. And so perimeter of a square is 4 times the length of a side, and then area is length times width. Okay, so if we have one side that's 30, then we're going to take 30 times 4 for the perimeter. So 30 times 4, because each of the sides are going to be 30, and so we can just plug it into the formula. So 4 times 0 is 0, 4 times 3 is 12. So the perimeter is 120 millimeters. Make sure that you put that in the correct answer choice. And then the area is length times width, so that would be 30 times 30. And so we have 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 3 is 0, 0 is a placeholder, 3 times 0 is 0, 3 times 3 is 9, add them together. 0, 0, 900. So then the area is 900. Okay. And so it told us to use these numbers. And so we used this number and this number. And if it was a computer, we would just drag it up there. But since it's paper, we will write them in. Number 2, Dana's room is 12 feet long and 10 feet wide. Natalie's room is 11 feet long and 9 feet wide. What is the difference between the perimeter of their rooms? Okay, so we have to go back to what do we know about this word difference? It means subtract. All right, and so it's asking us to find the perimeter. So Dana's room is 12 feet long and 10 feet wide. So 12 feet long and 10 feet wide. And then Natalie's is 11 and 9. Okay, so how do we find perimeter? Length plus width plus length plus width. So L plus W plus L plus W. So if this is 12, this is 12. If this is 10, this is 10. This is 11, this is 11. If this is 9, this is 9. Okay, so let's find the perimeter of this one. So 12 plus 12 is 24, and 10 plus 10 is 20. So 20 plus 24, 0 plus 4 is 4, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So Dana's perimeter is 44. Okay, let's find Natalie's. So 11 plus 11 is 22, just in case anybody gets confused, and 9 plus 9 is 18. So then 18 plus 22, 2 plus 8 is 10, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, and so 40. So then Natalie's perimeter is 40. And so now we go back to the question, and it says, what is the difference between the perimeters? So difference means to subtract. So I have 44 minus 40, which is 4. So now let's look at our answer choices. And it looks like the answer is going to be B, where it says 4 feet, because 44 minus 40 is 4. Okay. All right, let's turn to the next page. All right, it says Drew has a rectangular treehouse that is 10 feet long, 6 feet wide, and 8 feet tall. What is the area of the floor of his treehouse? Okay, so let's think. He's got a rectangular treehouse. It's 10 feet long and 6 feet wide. So it's 10 feet long and 6 feet wide. Okay, and it's asking us for area. It told us it's a rectangle. Area of a rectangle is going to be length times width. So 10 times 6 gives us 60. Okay. Don't worry about this 8 because it's 8 feet tall. And that would be to find volume, and that would be something you'll learn in 5th grade. Number 4 says Veronica has 3 gallons of tea. She poured 5 quarts of tea into cups. How much tea does she have left? Okay, so this is where you might need your reference chart or your journal if you have either one of those. And so we're looking at gallons, And then she poured quarts. So we need to know how many quarts are in a gallon. And if we look back at our reference chart or our gallon bot, we have 4 quarts in a gallon. So I'm going to write that right here. 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. Okay, so if I have 3 gallons, then how many quarts would I have? So I would have...
Smith kids to your mother's room. Smith kids to your mother's room.
I have 3 gallons times... So I would have 3 times 4, which would give me 12 quarts. So if I have 12 quarts, then she poured 5 quarts. So 12 minus 5 gives me 7. So the answer is D. Number 5, a grocery store has 15 pounds of strawberries. The store sells all their strawberries in 8-ounce containers. The store sold 19 of these containers today. What amount of strawberries are left? Okay, so we have pounds and ounces, and we know that 16 pounds is equal to 1 ounce. So the store sells their strawberries in 8-ounce packages, and they sold 19 of them today. So I have 19 times 8. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 7. So I have 152 ounces that they sold today, but then they have 15 pounds of strawberries. And so I need to multiply 15 times 16 to find out how many ounces. So 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. 0 is a placeholder. 1 times 5 is 5, and 1 times 1 is 1. So 0 plus 0 is 0, 9 plus 5 is 14, 1 plus 1 is 2. So 240. And so now it says what amount of strawberries are left. So 240 minus 152. So I can't do 0 minus 2. I have to borrow. 10 minus 2 is 8. And then I can't do 3 minus 5, so I'm going to borrow, and that becomes 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. And then 1 minus 1 is 0. So I have 88 ounces, which is C. I'll give you just a minute to make sure you got all that written down. All right, so now let's look at number 6. Number 6 says Patrick has 1 liter of water in a bottle. He poured 175 milliliters into each of 2 containers. How much water does he have left in the bottle? So he had 1 liter, and then he poured 175 milliliters into each of 2 containers. So, okay, so let's look back. We have 1,000 milliliters is equal to 1 liter. So 1,000 milliliters is equal to 1 liter. And then he poured 175 milliliters into each of 2 containers. So I'm thinking that he put 175 in one and 175 in another. So 5 plus 5 is 10. 7 plus 7 is 14. 15. 1, 2, 3. So 350 milliliters. And then 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters. So if he had 1 liter, then we have 1,000 minus, because it's asking how much does he have left, minus the 350 that he poured. 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't do 0 minus 5. I have to borrow. So that becomes 10. Take 1, 10. 10 minus 5 is 5, and 9 minus 3 is 6. 0 minus nothing is nothing. So 650 milliliters would be what he has left. So that would be A. Okay, number 7. The organizers of a school carnival are giving out prizes at random times. A prize is given out every 35 to 135 minutes. The last prize was given out at 1:02 p.m. Select all the possible times the next prize could be given out. So all the possible times means there's going to be more than one answer. Okay, so if we start at 1:02 p.m., so this is our start time, so it can go anywhere from 35 minutes to 135 minutes. So let's see what 35 minutes later is. So 10, minutes later would be 1:12. 10 minutes later would be 1:22. 10 more minutes later would be 1:32. And 5 minutes later would be 32, would be 37, because 2 plus 5 is 7. So this is 35 minutes. Okay, so this would be the least time. And so now let's try 135 minutes. So now we have to go 100 more minutes. So if we're at 137 and we're going to go 100 more minutes, well, we know 1 hour is 60 minutes, right? So 60 minutes or an hour will be 237. Okay, and then I can take 100 minus 60 and I get 40 left. 0 minus 0, 10 minus 4, 10 minus 6, excuse me, is 4. So I have 40 minutes left. So I'm going to break that 40 minutes down into 10. So 10 would be 247. Then another 10 would be 257. Another 10. Remember, now I'm going past 3 o'clock because when I get to 2:59, I have to go past 3 o'clock. So I have 257, so that would be 307. So I'm at 10, 20, 30, and then 40 would be, this is 317. So this is 100 minutes. So 317 is 100 minutes, because this is 35 minutes plus 100 minutes. So this is 135 minutes, because this is 35 minutes, and then I'm going to add another 100 minutes. And so any of the numbers that are between 137 and 317 are going to be the possible times the next prize could be given out. So given out every 35 to 135 minutes. Oh, wait, I didn't go enough, because 135, no? So 315 would be in there. 256 would be in there. And 140. So yeah, so those are my 3 answers. Okay. Number 8, it says, based on the information in the table, how many cups are equal to 96 fluid ounces? So how many fluid ounces are in a cup? Let's go back to our customary units of measurement where we talk about things we use for cooking. So 8 fluid ounces is equal to 1 cup. So I'm going to write that over here. So 8 ounces equals 1 cup. So these are the ounces and these are the cups. So it went from 3 to 24, 5 to 40, 7 to 56, which you can see that we just multiplied times 8 every time. That's where that 8 came from. So then it says how many cups are equal to 96 fluid ounces. So then that would be 96 here. So what times 8 is going to give me 96, or 96 divided by 8 gives me what? So I can, well, 64 times 8 is going to be too big. So I can do some long division, or, so 1 times 8, 9 minus 8 is 1, bring this down, 16, minus 16, so 12 is my answer. Or if I know my facts, I know that 12 times 8 is 96, but I can do it this way also. Or I could go through and multiply each of these numbers times 8 and see which one gets me 96. 9 times 8 is 72, so I know it couldn't be that. This is way bigger than 96, so I know it couldn't be that either. Oops, sorry. Make sure y'all can see all that. Okay, All right, let's turn to the back. All right, so then number 9 says Jake walked 3 miles. How many yards is this equivalent to? Okay, so how many yards are in a mile? So let's go back to our reference chart. And so we have 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. So 1 mile equals 1,760 yards. Okay, and so Jake walked 3 miles. So we're going to take 1,760 times 3. Okay, 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 7 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. Carry this 2. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 2 is 5. And then 1, 2, 3 commas. So 5,280 yards. Okay, number 10 says Philip has a 10-week-old kitten. Which measurement best describes the weight of his kitten? So this is a really small kitten. So we know we can't be using tons. Let's see, milligrams is really tiny. So, and now we have the different, now we have to figure out which one is going to be a better 2 ounces or 2 pounds. Now 10 weeks, let's think about 10 weeks. A month is 4 weeks. So this kitten is 2.5 months old. So it's probably about 2 pounds. And then the last one says the perimeter of the rectangle below is 52 inches. What is the width of the rectangle below? So we know the perimeter. So we know perimeter is, this is a rectangle, so how to find perimeter, length plus width plus length plus width. Okay, so we know the perimeter and we know the length. So we're going to plug in the numbers that we know. So 52 equals 16 plus, we don't know the width, so if this is 16, this is 16, plus 16 plus W. So the first thing we're going to do is add 16 plus 16. 6 plus 6 is 12, 1, 2, 3, so 32. So now we have 32. And so now we're going to take 52 minus 32. So 2 minus 2 is 0, and 5 minus 3 is 2. So now I have 20. But look, I have 2 W's. So I have to split 20 in half or divide it by 2, which gives me 10. And so then I have 10 here and 10 here. So to check my answer to make sure I get 52, I can add 16 plus 16, which is 32. And then that's 42 and 52. And so the width is what I'm looking for is going to be 10.